Why do you call an observation an allegation? The observation is, and I'd like to go to Kumar Ketkar, that the BJP's margin, allow me to complete, sir, the BJP's margin had started tapering down from the wide gap that existed in the Lok Sabha elections. And now you are in this Salvage Rescue Act situation. There is like a, if these numbers are any proof to be true, or the sentiment that Neerja and, Hartosh and all are talking about is true, then there is a bit of a cliffhanger situation here, which the BJP is going to think about. Yes, Kumar Ketkar, and then back to the debate. Yes, please. Mr. Ketkar. Can you hear me, Mr. Ketkar? Please go ahead.
Anti-incumbency of the central government, had affected all the states, and all of us on the panel agreed that anti-incumbency vote against the central government led by Dr. Manmohan Singh was affecting the votes in the states. Now the anti-incumbency against Modi personally and anti-incumbency against the NDA government and the inertia that BJP is suffering from has created a fourth force in the election, and that is the disgruntled elements of the BJP. And that invisible force of the BJP cadre, which is completely disgruntled, is actively or passively working against their own candidates. And therefore, BJP is a house divided, just as Congress was a house divided before. Congress looks completely invisible because BJP's disgruntled element and BJP's disgruntled element is helping Kejriwal. BJP is a divided house. BJP ministers may have come there, BJP MPs may have come there, BJP leaders from Bihar and UP may have come there, but actually that is a house divided. They are fighting against each other. Neither Modi nor Modi factor will work.
Gentlemen, one second, Mr. Rajagopalan.
In fact, you have to recognize that BJP is divided far too sooner. BJP is divided far too sooner than we thought it was.
No, one second to my Delhi panelists, please. To my Delhi panelists, please, only because I'm separated from you today physically. Therefore, I will please appeal today if you can not speak over each other. No, point is, the question is what? Why don't you address the critical question? Critical question is, was there overconfidence? Simple. Ajay, Bose, Arati, Jerath, overconfidence because
Arnab, of course there was overconfidence.
I'll quickly take this forward.
Of course there was overconfidence.
Ajay Bose.
Yeah, but please let us not overread the Delhi impending defeat for the BJP. I think I have met so many people in Delhi who still say that they are supporters of Mr. Modi at a national level, but will vote for Kejriwal in Delhi.
Okay.
So let us not overread the situation for the BJP today.
Okay,
in
fine.
Delhi, the BJP is facing a serious problem, but that does not mean that at a national level there is any really challenge.
My question is to let's go back to the political panelists. No, 1 minute. I'll come back to you. I'd like to go back to Sanjay Jha, Ashish Khetan and Aman Sinha. Sanjay Jha, Ashish Khetan and Aman Sinha. First question is, Ashish Khetan, there are now this big analysis which is happening on where the BJP probably went wrong or did not go wrong. My own view is, if I can add my view on that, is that the Congress party had already started faltering. The BJP should have seen the writing on the wall. The BJP was having one success story after another. By the end of Jharkhand, BJP appears to be this unstoppable political force. Did it overestimate its possibility, of consolidating voters and taking even Congress voters away to the BJP and not realizing that the Congress voters could move to the Aam Aadmi Party? I'd like to see Ashish's reading on that, coming back to you after that. Ashish?
Yeah. See, what you are discussing, Arnab, is a series of tactical mistakes that Bharatiya Janata Party made. And that started with soon after the Lok Sabha election results came in. They didn't go for an early election. They wanted to engineer defections within the Aam Aadmi Party, and somehow they wanted to form the government through the back door. And that backfired, and finally they were compelled to dissolve the assembly under the strictures of the Supreme Court. That's one. That's a separate story. The second story is that today Aam Aadmi Party represents the broadest social coalition in Delhi.
Words in the mouth of Supreme Court.
Every section.
It was the Aam Aadmi Party who went to the Lieutenant Governor saying that they want some time to explore the possibilities of government formation.
Please let me complete. Okay,
you come out with an absolutely fabricated fact, and you want me to listen to it patiently.
No.
You are saying something, you are putting something in the words of Supreme Court.
One second. One minute. It's his analysis.
The fact of the matter is that it was Aam Aadmi Party which went to Lieutenant Governor saying that they want some time to explore the possibility of government.
Aman, you know, I know, the world knows that if you wanted an election in Delhi, Mr. Aman Sinha, if you wanted an election in Delhi, you could have had it whenever you wanted, before or after May 16, for God's sake, for crying out loud. You were in power in Delhi, you can call an election in July.
No.
August, September, November. You didn't call the election, and fine, you disagree with the observation, let him complete. I'll come back to you, Aman Sinha. You can quickly rebut him as much as you want.
One second.
Can I finish my point?
Let him complete. Ashish, complete quickly. Ashish, complete quickly.
There have to be reasonable efforts of government formation.
Okay, fine. Don't look back in the past. Ashish, complete quickly.
Has a reason to vote for Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party today represents the broadest social coalition. So you have the middle class, the upper middle class. They want a chief minister which can give them a government that is corruption free, because they want the delivery of services without paying a bribe. They want to deal with DDA, MCD, the police without paying a bribe. And also there is a small section which wants check and balance. They don't want to see the concentration of power in just one hand. That's another section. Then there is a substantial section that doesn't see a conflict between the idea of Modi and the idea of Arvind Kejriwal. They believe that that both can coexist, that Arvind Kejriwal can, as I had mentioned at the start of the debate, can deal with micro issues. Arvind Kejriwal is a 24/7 chief minister, would be a 24/7 hands-on chief minister. He understands Delhi. He understands what are the problems of Delhi. And then there are lower classes, there are other sections, the marginalized sections, who believe that Arvind Kejriwal can fix the health and education sector. Arvind Kejriwal can provide women's security. Arvind Kejriwal can stop the loot of the Bijli companies. And this is a big issue. Because as far as the rising power tariffs go, every section in
Okay, now Ashish, fine. We'll get Sanjay Jha back.
Needs to be audited.
We'll
power companies need to be audited.
No, that's okay. You're giving the whole... Ashish, now you can... Ashish, you've taken your turn. Ashish, my question was not that. My question was not that. My question was the Congress party was faltering. Accept it, Ashish, and Sanjay will... If the Congress party was really fighting, you want to fight an election, Sanjay, fight an election. Don't pretend, for God's sake. Don't pretend you're fighting an election, Sanjay. You know, tell the people you're not fighting the election. For whatever strategic reason, but don't pretend, Sanjay. You are pretending you're fighting an election.
Today, where Congress and BJP are in cahoots.
Congress does not exist. What cahoots? Congress is not fighting the election.
Are in cahoots. They are supporting each other because they have just one agenda to stop Arvind Kejriwal.
No, one second. Sanjay, please. Sanjay,
you made a government together for 49 days, which presented the worst model of governance for people of Delhi.
Can you be quiet for a minute so that we can answer the question? Okay, Arnab, to answer your question in very simple terms. Please do not, kind of ignore the reality that one reason why Mr. Sheila Dikshit's government lost in Delhi was because there was a huge anti-UPA sentiment at the center. There was a repercussion, the ramifications of that negativity did rub off on the Delhi performance. And Arnab, I'm telling you this, these are not wrong statistics. If at our lowest we were around 24% last year, around the same time, or let's say December 2013, it's very, very reasonable for us to expect that we will be doing better than that. And the second point, I disagree with Ajoy Bose that if the vote in Delhi today looks to be going anti-BJP compared to what they were expecting, that is symptomatic of a larger disillusion of the urban middle class with the non-performance or the underperformance of this government. Don't ignore that the Sakshi Maharaj, the whole communal environment that we've been talking about on your Newshour debates over the last 8 months.
No, may I respond now? Can you be quiet now?
They are upsetting those people, the young young people of India who voted on the so-called aspirational spin that Mr. Modi very craftily exploited through his political
young people of India are mostly
campaign.
upset with
I
Rahul
think
Gandhi
the
and
chickens are now
Sanjay.
coming home to roost. And whether AAP benefits or the Congress benefits, but the BJP is definitely on a downslide.
No, but what is the national implication? My question is...
Arnab, now I will have to come in, please.
Aman, okay, briefly.
Arnab.
Okay, briefly, then I go across to the Delhi panel.
We are all drawing
we'll
sweeping conclusions on basis of some opinion polls which
What
have,
opinion polls?
which have
We'll put the
faltered
numbers on the
immensely.
screen again.
In Lok Sabha elections, these
We'll
are the
put the
same
numbers,
opinion
please,
polls
back.
which gave 0 seat to BJP.
We'll put the numbers
Arnab.
on the grid, please.
And no, please allow me to
Aman,
point
you're
out
wrong.
that
These
Mr.
polls are
Yogendra
giving
Yadav's
7
internal
seats to the
survey
BJP.
itself.
You're completely wrong. You don't know your facts.
Which poll? Which poll? Please tell me. No. What,
Well, I can
the
tell
ABP
you,
poll gave 1 seat to BJP.
that we were
Who is saying
observing
this?
all the polls.
No,
and
this
the
kind of
BJP was far ahead in
this kind of
all the
grossly incorrect
predictions.
remark
I think the
only
BJP
Mr.
and
Sanjay
AAP
Jha
were
could have
expected
made.
to win all 7.
Now please
That
allow
is
me
a
to
fact.
say that Aam Aadmi Party's own internal survey is rating them lower than the previous assembly elections. In last assembly elections, Mr. Yogendra Yadav internal surveys gave them 50 plus seats. Now they are, somewhere giving them somewhere around 40 plus seats.
Ashish
So
Khetan,
they in their
Aman,
own-
1 second,
by their own
Ashish rebutting you.
admission
Ashish,
are weaker than what they were in
Ashish
previous
rebutting
Lok
you.
Sabha
Ashish
previous
rebutting you.
Assembly election.
Ashish rebutting you.
Aman, please. Aman, please don't, state something which could be easily verified right now in 2 minutes, because any viewer who would be watching this broadcast would go on Google and find out that Yogendra Yadav has put out his internal surveys where he is giving 45 seats to Aam Aadmi Party, and he has clearly spoken of the reasons why he believes today there is a wave of Aam Aadmi Party, and he believes that he won't be surprised if Aam Aadmi Party wins more than 50 seats.
So how many seats are you giving now?
Anybody who's listening to you would go on Google,
what is your present
would go on
assessment?
Facebook and you would easily find that what you are saying is not right.
He gave 45 seats and you came up with 29 or 28.
Internal surveys,
So who was lying was Mr. Yogendra Yadav. And who was incorrect was Mr. Yogendra Yadav. When I am telling you that consistently after Lok Sabha elections, BJP has been winning all the polls where the electorate size is at least 100 times more than your sample surveys. You are not prepared to believe it. I am talking about the vote of people of Delhi which counts.
What I am saying,
whether it was Dusu elections, whether it was Delhi Cant Board elections, whether it was Juta elections. That is what I am talking about. I am not talking about your internal surveys or your sample size of 3,000 in an electorate of 1.25 crores.
And you are discussing something that happened way back in the past.
I am discussing
I am
mentioning to you the results of Delhi Cant which have come out one fortnight back.
Sees Bharatiya Janata Party as reactionary,
which has come out one fortnight back.
You are reactionary. You have been reacting on every issue. We have
do not want any certificate
you have been
from
reacting.
you.
We said you don't have a CM phase.
We know how you have been trying to divert these issues.
We said that we have an action plan.
Sir,
you said you don't
No,
have
the difficulty is that Aam Aadmi Party wants to deflect from the real issues which are confronting
No, the
the
real
people of
issue
Delhi
is that you
and the
wanted a
tight spot in
personality
which they
election.
are
Aman
in
Sinha,
all
1
these
minute.
money laundering
Aman
cases.
Sinha, 1 minute.
And they want to
No,
deflect
I'd
it
like
and
to go
divert
back
it.
to
That
the
is all.
panelists in Delhi. Fact is, Navika, the BJP, let's go back to Navika and her panel out there. The BJP wanted a personality election. They're the ones who want to look at the numbers on the chief ministerial sweepstakes, whether you see the HT1, the ET1 or the APP1. Kejriwal is way ahead with anywhere between 48 to 54%, and Bedi is middling despite the BJP backing between 37 and 40%. So the Bedi is not helping the BJP pull additional voters. Kejriwal has begun to lead very comfortably.
That's the whole problem for
very
the BJP.
Comfortably.
Arnab, that's the whole problem for the BJP, that they actually came out, they needed to cushion Narendra Modi. It was becoming a Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal fight. They needed to cushion Narendra Modi from that fight because Kejriwal was showing the greater traction as far as numbers are concerned. So because of that, Kiran Bedi was brought in, and now the BJP brings up this entire theory that they've gone with faces in the past, whether it was Vasundhara Raje or whether it was Raman Singh or Shivraj Singh Chauhan, but these were all incumbent chief ministers who were fighting for second term.
And then also
in the first term, the BJP had actually gone in without a face in Jharkhand, in Maharashtra, as well as in
Can I say
I think Arati.
We needed a buffer, and Kiran Bedi hasn't worked.
Yes, Arti.
Yeah.
Can I supplement that?
Arti, and after that, Saba, after Arti, I'll come to you.
It is important. Yeah. I think, Arnab, it is very important to understand the context in which the BJP won all those elections in 2014. The context was a very strong anti-Congress sentiment that ran through. That's right. That ran through the Lok Sabha elections, ran through the Maharashtra elections, ran through the Haryana elections, Jharkhand elections, and the Jammu and Kashmir elections. This is the first election in which the Congress is not in the frame at all. And the BJP is faced with a local leader who seems to have captured local imagination. That's why the dynamics of the Delhi election are so different to the elections last year.
So
and I think the BJP completely miscalculated
no,
this.
You see, and the biggest point. Yes, and Saba, I just want to add one point before that. I want to get Jay in. Saba, I'm coming to you. Besides that, the BJP's biggest accusations against Arvind Kejriwal was that he's a bhagoda, that he ran away in 49 days. Now, Kejriwal has repeatedly apologized for quitting, something that seems to have cut some ice. And on top of it, AAP has not personally attacked Bedi, whereas the BJP has more than personally attacked Kejriwal. So you see the BJP, being more reactive, and the Aam Aadmi Party being a little bit more collected in its response. It's a different AAP from the one which fought the last election. Yes, Jay.
But it's a different AAP, and I think the BJP has not learnt from numbers. Even look at the Jharkhand election. Let's go to a very interesting statistic.
Sure.
In 2014 Lok Sabha, the BJP polled 40% of the vote in Jharkhand. In the 2014 Vidhan Sabha, the party got only 30%. It lost 10%.
That's true. But there was no competitor.
Absolutely. Now with the competitor, why can't you lose 10 or more and around and give it to your competitor?
So when you actually, so this simple analysis is, you have strong anti-incumbency and a splintered opposition, it works.
Absolutely.
You have a united opposition and no anti-incumbency, the BJP gets into trouble, and on top of that you have a face there who is aggressive and a volunteer base, then the BJP can be given a real fight. Okay, that's interesting analysis. Yes, Saba, I stopped you there.
Of the BJP also
Saba, Neerja,
write off the cadre base of the BJP.
Yes.
If as political analysts we write off the cadre base of the BJP, we'll be making a huge error. So don't put out the cadre of the BJP, which will come out in full strength.
Understood.
Photo finish is what we can talk about. Don't give up on the cadre of the BJP.
No, 1 second. We are nobody to give up, but the point. Yes, Saba.
Ever since Mr. Modi won that simple majority after so many years, the BJP's own internal model of state leadership has been changed. Because they came through strong state leaders and they decided that Mr. Modi was his overarching supreme leader. So they had non-entities in Haryana. They had a non-entity in Maharashtra. They clearly thought they will go with the same model because they have this all India supreme leader figure in Mr. Modi. And when that proved, now the problem with that whole experiment when it came to Delhi was, even at that time in December last year, if we remember that, Arvind Kejriwal's rankings, he was being covered by the international media. So he always had the ability to be a face. But clearly the party, Aam Aadmi Party, did not have the structure. They made a mistake in fighting all over India. This time they come back here. So here you had a personality.
Okay, so Neerja and you have another personality. No, what's that? Neerja. No, let's get a quick word. Neerja, yes. Neerja. Let's keep it quickly. Please, Neerja.
Arnab, we must not forget that in the Lok Sabha elections of May 2014, the Aam Aadmi Party increased their vote share by 3%, even as they lost in all the 7 Lok Sabha seats. And since then, minorities have gravitated to them in larger numbers than either in May 2014 or December 2013. And so have the farmers in the outer Delhi seats in the Dehat area. So, plus the upper classes, there's a section which has been worried about the love jihad and these extreme noises that have been emanating from the BJP leaders.
We've got
and there is a section in the middle class also which is today saying, you know, he's accepted his mistakes for quitting, therefore let's give him another chance.
Right.
So all this put together is what is giving the momentum to
Okay, but again, caveat. No, watch Ashish Khetan.
You know, let's not forget the cadre base of the BJP.
Ashish wants to say something quickly. Before that, after that, I have to go to Hartosh and Kumar Ketkar before closing.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. See, I just want to say, just want to sum it up. The only strategy that the BJP had going into this election was to constantly abuse Arvind Kejriwal. They projected him as Naxal, as an anarchist, and above all as a quitter. Now that word quitter has not been accepted by the people of Delhi, nor by the middle class, nor by any other section.
You also abused
that this guy is a fighter. Sir, please let me finish.
Mr. Khetan,
that he is
you
a
are
fighter.
Wrong.
That
you are unnecessarily putting that. You are wrong.
He's battling out on the streets of Delhi. He's standing up for the people of Delhi. He is talking about corruption, inflation, electricity tariff. He is taking up the issues that matter for the people on a day-to-day basis. So that didn't work. And increasingly, as BJP was failing in its strategy, they escalated this personality war. The Prime Minister, I think, diminished his stature the day when he called Arvind Kejriwal all kinds of things. And that didn't stop at that. After that, it was just a downward spiral for the BJP.
So this, in retrospect,
a huge slugfest.
No, in retrospect, therefore, in retrospect, therefore, Ashish and Hartosh, Hartosh and then Kumar Ketkar, did the BJP make a mistake by making Kejriwal the issue? Kejriwal cartoons, Kejriwal speeches, Kejriwal attack.
Of course, I think they were reacting to the numbers. They did not have a coherent strategy going into these elections. One, they saw that the old model, as Saba was saying, of a non-entity backed by Modi was not enough to win these elections, which is why they have a problem going forward. Nobody is saying that the Modi mystique has disappeared nationally, but you don't have a national election till 2019. You have to fight state elections one after the other. And in states like Uttar Pradesh, where you don't have a face, and if you can't entirely bank on Modi to deliver, then what are you going to do? And Bihar. These are the two most crucial elections coming.
Ajoy da.
Absolutely. I personally feel that the entire strategy of the election was guided by somehow attacking Kejriwal personally and not at all trying to contest issues. So the whole thing got very badly personalized, and that is why they put in Kiran Bedi. But tell me something, Arnab, when have you heard before somebody joining the party and 2 days later becoming the chief ministerial candidate? I do not think in the history of Indian politics,
especially
is
when the
any
person
example of somebody who's just joined politics and then become the chief ministerial candidate.
It appears to be a knee-jerk reaction, and that may cost them. Last word to Kumar Ketkar. But I'd say I agree with Navika, it's not closed yet. The BJP's ability to do, to manage the voters on the day of the election, to get them out to vote, cannot be underestimated either. They have a huge experience in running a poll day machinery. And that is what worked for them in UP. So the Aam Aadmi Party obviously will have to be careful on that front. Kumar Ketkar.
Nor can you underestimate the volunteer. Nor can you underestimate the volunteer base of Aam Aadmi Party.
Sure, yes.
Kumar BJP machinery.
Pull in the votes who want to vote for Aam Aadmi Party.
It's an interesting fight, Ashish.
Base of 30,000
Ashish, trust me as a journalist, it is a fascinating fight.
On the ground, campaigning.
As journalists,
booth to booth.
Journalists like to report on an election contest like this.
Our volunteers today
because it can't be read till the last minute.
Of purpose.
Yes, please, Kumar Ketkar.
There is coherence. There is sense of purpose.
Well,
Arnab, common shared goal.
Arnab, that distinction which you made between volunteer and cadre is extremely important. Volunteer is a spirited person and cadre is a directed person. And further to that, I agree with Arati that there is a class divide, but not only class divide, but also middle class divide. The middle class, which was so enamored and mesmerized by the so-called Modi magic, now is going away. And it's not a question of mere anti-incumbency, it's also a question against Modi. And not only them, them. But even the BJP, the middle class that BJP represented, even that middle class is tired completely of Modi or getting tired of Modi, and therefore they are also walking away. So it's a BJP divide. It's a middle class disillusionment. It is anti-incumbency against Modi, and it is primarily AAP which is garnering the vote from Congress.
The story is not over till it's over.
It is like Mr. Smith goes to Washington. It is like Mr. Smith goes to Washington film of Frank Capra, James Stewart. That same James Stewart story, Frank Capra film, Mr. Smith goes to Washington, Mr. Kejriwal is going to Delhi.
Okay, let's see. But the story is not over till it's over. When I come back on the other side, I'm going to tell you how Mrug was doing the analysis, giving the AAP a possibility of 40 plus seats. That's a month back. I'm going to talk about that on the other side.